As I wrote in Strange Imaginings, I do believe Earth is an aliens reality TV show, and Mary got impregnated with alien IVF, and then they had an alien human hybrid. So happy birthday, the first alien human hybrid. But you'll have to read it. I did write a follow up, more Strange Imaginings that covers the present and the future. So now I think I should probably go back and start from the beginning with, or at least the beginning before the aliens became interested in Earth. So let's go to the creators. I do believe that when the Big Bang happened, that there sciencey stuff and sciencey stuff, and then there was a planet, and the inhabitants of that planet are not like us. They did not evolve like we do. We are mammals. We're animals, essentially. So there's a whole different thing. But those aliens, I believe, they were created right around the Big Bang. And they were created, like I said, sciencey stuff, and more sciencey stuff. And essentially, they started out where we are now. They started like at the beginning of creation, with being like the creation energy. So they didn't start like in ponds and crap like we did. They started as we are now. They looked like us. They didn't have the ability to reproduce, because at the point of creation they just didn't really need to. So they started out approximately where we are. So let's think about evolution from this point in humanity. This is where our creator aliens started. And they evolved and they evolved and they evolved in whatever way you would evolve from here, and take technology and crap and how it would evolve and evolve and evolve. And eventually they evolved into energy. And so basically they no longer had corporeal form. They were just consciousness. They were just the energy of the universe, essentially, in like a little ball kind of thing or whatever. And so there was a finite amount of them. And yeah, it takes time. Each person had to evolve to that point. Once the very last two had evolved off the planet to become energy, some of the first aliens that had evolved into energy had already used up all of their energy and ceased to exist. So essentially, they had every conversation, they thought every thought. They were bored as fuck. They searched the entire universe. Now, the universe didn't start out as gigantic as it is now, it expands. So, once there was only two left, they had already explored, and so had the people who evolved before them explored, and didn't find any other life in the universe. So they thought it would be a shame that when their energy was used up, there would be no more life. The universe would essentially be a void. But they started out like sentient and shit. And who the hell knew what was going to happen somewhere else in the universe, or if life in the universe would ever start up random, just like they did. But they weren't waiting around. So they decided there was two of them, a male and a female. And they had decided they were going to go around the universe shaking the sea monkey shit. and see what grew. And that way they would have put life into the universe. So they started, obviously, in their own solar system, in their own galaxy, etc. And kept going, kept going. Our solar system, they shook the sea monkey shit on each planet that we live on, or, sorry, each planet in our solar system, and life did grow on the majority of them, but it didn't continue to evolve and eventually died out. I would assume that would be why you can find evidence on like Mars and shit of water, etc. But they got to Earth, they shook the sea monkey shit, it did start life. Dad was pretty tired at this point. He's the male alien. He was pretty tired and fed the fuck up of creating life all over the universe, but never getting to really engage with it. And humans do look the most like their corporeal form when they were, when they were created, like sprung up. So we had a bit of a soft spot, and because all these other planets, the life died off, and in the other solar systems, there was at least two or three planets that did continue to survive. He wanted to kind of stop here. So the female alien, so it's a god and goddess. I call them mom and dad. And I'm going through this because, well, Jesus is supposed to be the Son of God. So that's this time of year. And he looked at it and went, okay. And she humored him for a little bit. Okay, you're tired and bored or whatever, and now you want to play with one of your toys. Okay, I'll let you. And so, meddling a little bit more, creates Adam and Lilith. Lilith was fully fucking... She was not made from Adam. She was equal. So she was a badass bitch. I mean, she had thoughts, she was smart, sexy as fuck, etc. So she did actually disagree with the plan that the male alien dad had to continue to meddle and play and create on Earth, because he just couldn't seem to find the patience or whatever it is just to watch. So her and God made a deal, because mom was getting to a point where it's like, you know what, enough's enough. We're intending to go out into the universe and create life, and if we stop here, as the universe expands, life won't be created in other places. So Lilith and God, she had made a deal with him. I don't agree with what you're doing, so I want to take off with mom, just like the fallen angels, like Lucifer. I don't know the names of any other ones. And they didn't actually come and create a hell, blah, blah, blah. They just opposed what he was doing, so they wanted to leave with the female alien too. So Lilith was so, easily obsessed over by Adam, obviously. She was just the shit. So God knew that if she left, he'd leave too, even if he didn't disagree with what was happening. You know what men can be like. Comfort zone. Every man loves their comfort zone. So they made a deal. She could keep her immortality and go with mom. And as long as Adam stayed in the Garden of Eden, and he could play with his toy. So cut him off, or I don't know how long. I don't know how long it would take to get cut off for a dude to be like, you know what, vanilla's better than nothing. So that happens. The female alien and the fallen angels and Lilith get to take off, continue the mission of creating life in the ever expanding universe. Adam did stay, and then obviously the dad created Eve out of Adam's rib, and that would make her more, I don't know, pliable or obedient or whatever the hell you want to call it. And so that was fine, but Eve was getting sick and tired of hearing Lilith this and Lilith that. She did this, she did that. She was so smart, blah, blah, blah. She sucks dick and all the rest of this stuff. So Eve just went, okay, well, if you want a bad girl, I'll be a bad girl. And in her innocent, kind of whatever way, she thought, oh, well, the one thing I know Lilith never did, she may have opposed God, and she may have been a badass, and she may have been like, men like atypical personalities. I mean, as a general rule, I think. According to the shit I've read. So, she was like, well, I'm going to pick from the forbidden fruit. I'm gonna take, I guess it was probably a pomegranate or a date or something, not an apple. Come on, Westerners. But she was like, well, you want a badass and I'm sick of hearing about it, so picked from the fruit of knowledge, or tree of knowledge, and Adam knew what the hell he was doing. He knew he wasn't allowed to eat the fruit. He could have said something, but he thought, well, maybe this is a switch. Maybe she'll start being a little more adventurous and taking it in different ways. So, obviously, God had just been opposed by his, essentially, life partner, wife, whatever, and his older children, like Lucifer and some of the other fallen angels, and then Lilith, of course, and he just could not take that Eve and Adam had opposed him. So it was like, fuck you, down to earth. You figure your shit out. And then, as things progressed, the Greys had been created in another solar system, in a different galaxy, for long before us. They made a deal with God because they'd come, they saw the planet, they thought, cha-ching! And they wanted to make us a reality TV show for the other planets and their planet in their solar system. So they made a deal with Dad that if they were allowed to install cameras, etc., do some mild interference with us, that he would A, let them do it, and B, made a deal so that they would push his objective, saying that there was no goddess, just a god, and then all the crap with Christianity with Jesus and him being, immortal, and the 3 days in the cave, like, no, I don't think that was a miracle. I think that was like the 3 days it took for the alien human hybrid to recover and then sit up and just be like, oh, the fuck, kind of shit. So that's the backstory to Strange Imaginings and more Strange Imaginings. I don't really think that it's just some dude. I mean, my paradigm, or my whatever you want to call it, whether it's a channeled message or some shit because mom's back on her way here or some shit like that, I have no idea. But I do actually believe this, and I don't think that my belief in this version of creation of life in the universe is any harder to believe than some dude sitting on a cloud in a dress with a long white beard with nothing better to do than listen to us whine all day and then just kind of be like a 90s talk show host. You get a miracle, and you get a miracle, you get a miracle, and the rest of you can go fuck yourself. So, Merry motherfucking Christmas. Happy birthday, alien hybrid Jesus. And till next time. Oh, and yay! I officially get to check being a YouTube nut job off my bucket list. So Merry Christmas to me.